So you can step back a little bit there, Micheal.
Okay.
That's grand there now. So we're lucky enough to have Micheal Martin here, choir of Wexford County Board here, and Micheal, you're very welcome. Good morning, Micheal, for the opening John Wall stand. And we'd like to ask you about your experience, let's say, as being choir of Wexford County Board, and ask you about we start off with the underage. It's not doing so well, let's say.
Yeah, listen, first of all, I'm delighted to be here. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here, actually. From a chairmanship point of view, I suppose I'm a year and a half into chairmanship now, and I'm only really starting to come to these events because of COVID, to be honest. So it's fantastic to be here, and you know, as we said earlier, Bunclody, Halfway House Bunclody is a thriving club. You know, there's kids everywhere here today. Amazing facilities, and this new stand that's being built is fantastic. And linking it to the legacy of John Wall, I think, is a special thing for the club. So absolutely delighted to be here. From a county perspective, yeah, I've just been talking to Barty O'Connor there. It's been one of those years, to a degree, with a couple of exceptions, where we probably haven't caught a break. And just been a couple of disappointing results, but we're not too far away. You know, take the hurling for example, lost to Laois with a kind of maybe a controversial goal 8 minutes into injury time, and at the time there was probably a reaction to that, but Laois have since proved that they're a very, very, very good team. The 20s final was a real disappointing night for us, but again, Kilkenny have gone on and won the All-Ireland. So a lot of near misses, and you know, we wanted probably what we're working at the moment. We have a pathway, and we have a programme in place where you're not talking about near misses, you're talking about getting over the line rather than missing out. From a football perspective, yeah, I think definitely our underage performances this year have been disappointing. And we've said that Philip Wallace now is going to be brought in to just do a review of that and maybe have a look from club to county, grassroots, and have a look at, you know, what can we do to improve standard.
Just on the football order, Micheal, like, it's not just this year, like our football underage has been diabolical for the last 10 years, let's say, you know, and we don't seem to have the line to raise it up, have we?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been diabolic for 10 years, but certainly we haven't struggled. I think this year was, and yet the minors definitely developed, came into a development competition and improved as we went along. There's definitely challenges, I would say, and that's why we need to look at the club. You know, even from talking to a few guys here today, we need to look at, obviously some clubs have adopted a policy of 70-30 or 70-30 hurling to football, some are 80-20 hurling to football, and we've spoken about that at County Board in terms of, you know, what we're doing. Obviously, as I mentioned in my speech here, a strong club makes a strong county. A huge amount of work being done here. You look at the amount of kids here now, I'd say 90% of them have hurls in their hand. Yeah. And that's obviously important, but you know, as a dual county, we need to look after both codes. And this year, probably, as you said, the results have maybe been disappointing, even though we had a very good under-20 campaign last year. But certainly, I think it's something we need to look at. As I said, Philip Wallace has been brought in. Needed to bring someone in who's not based in the county. Philip, guy of great stature in the county, yes. Principal in Turnior College in Dublin. Has a great status, has a link to the county, knows a good bit about it, but is also probably far enough removed to be able to ask the hard questions of all of us. Yeah. From a county club. And maybe then as a county maybe decide, you know, this is where we are at football, and this is where we want to get to, and this is what we're going to need to do. And at the same time, again, from talking to guys, you know, your own Martin O'Connor, one of our outstanding footballers, seniors, you know, great win over Offaly in the championship. Okay, the Dublin result was disappointing, but you're up against probably a machine. And then the Taunton Cup, you know, a narrow loss to Offaly. We just need to get out of Division 4, I think, from a senior perspective, and then we need to look at what we're doing underage.
The Taunton Cup, I think, is great progress, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like a good competition. Yeah, it's a good competition, and would have loved to be hosting New York here this weekend, and we weren't too far away from that. I think Shane and the lads have done a really good job. We are progressing. It's one of those years to say, maybe with the exception of the Kilkenny hurling match, from a county perspective, there's been lots of, you know, near misses. Yes. And I'd love to get away from the what ifs and what, maybe this and we could have done that. Ultimately, you love to be looking back on a year where you get over the line. And, but
Well, yeah,
At the same time, we're not that far away.
Yeah, and just from my own point of view, and not being biased, but I think if we had a Martin O'Connor again off the second time, we probably would have been.
Yeah, for sure. When you lose by points,
any little thing at all, like, we to go over that game again, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Martin's such an instrumental player, like, you know, and such an inspirational player.
A self-made man.
Yeah, you know, so when you lose by a point and at small margins and you're missing, you know, one of your top players, 100%. We had a couple of injuries that day, so it was listen, for sure disappointing. You'd love to be sitting in it, but end of every year you look back, you review. We're still in a hurling championship, you know, and we'll hopefully progress in the hurling. You look back and you see what can you do better and change things. And with the split season, you'll have that bit longer to do it. You know, whenever you're the 17th of July, I think, is the All-Ireland hurling final, so no one will be going beyond that.
No. So the hurling then, let's say, how do you rate her? We had a good run in the league, lost heavily to Waterford, thereabouts again Galway, thereabouts again Dublin, beat Leashwell, thereabouts again Westmeath, and beat Kilkenny. How does all that feed?
A mixed bag, you know, when you summarise it in 30 seconds, a real mixed bag with a good league. Listen, one thing I would say is we've seen an awful lot of new young players. Even last Saturday I was over in Buffer's Alley, like there was 10 of the under 20s that haven't been involved previously that were brought in. We would have met them, Dara would have met them, we would have spoken to them. They've been given programs and they've been told, listen, this is what you need to be, this is what you need to do to be a senior hurler. There is some fantastic talented young players in the county. Some of them are getting their head now with the seniors that have never played for Wexford before. Some of the results, the Dublin one is probably the standout down in Chadwick's Wexford Park. It's an evening we just didn't take our chances. You know, but again, I'd like to get away from what ifs. People would say, what if we would have beaten Westmeath, which again we should have. You'd be in a Leinster final. We are where we are. We look at it at the end of the year and we try and do things better next year.
We can't skip over the Kilkenny game, though, can we?
No, the Kilkenny game was a great night, and we know that's in the lads. You know, it was a great night. Guys performed well. And you know, we again learning from everything you've said. We go to Tralee on Sunday, on Saturday I should say. You know, Pat Bennett and Stephen Malumphey, who've been involved with Wexford in the last couple of years, are involved, so we wouldn't underestimate that.
Yes.
And
they had a great game against Antrim.
They had a great game against Antrim, scored a massive score. Yeah. So you know, we're hoping to get over the line there, and then you're hopefully heading into an All-Ireland quarter-final. So yes. I think we have a bit to play in this championship, yeah.
Yes. And the way things played out in the Munster final, Clare being on a high and all might play into our hands.
Listen, Clare look a formidable team. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Clare look like they've increased 10%. We've struggled with them over the last few years. They'd obviously be hot favourites, but I don't think we look beyond Kerry for now. It's a long trip down next weekend. But
yes, this video will make it down to the Kerry's dressing room, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. No. And as I say, Stevie Malumphey and Pat Bennett, and there's a few of the other guys involved. They know Wexford, and I'd rate Stevie really and Pat really highly. They'll have those guys well prepared to play Wexford this weekend.
So just go back to your own job as chairman, then Micheal, how challenging is that for a man with a young family, and must be hard going?
Listen, there's good weeks and there's challenging weeks certainly, and sometimes the challenging weeks are based on the results of the senior teams, which is a challenge. What I would say is, to one degree, I was lucky. I became chairman during lockdown, I suppose, which was a terrible time. But we took about 4 or 5 months and we set out a 5-year plan. And we have a plan, and we're pretty much sticking to that plan. We know where we want to go. We have big plans for the Centre of Excellence for Chadwick's Wexford Park. Financially, we're strong. We need to obviously invest a bit like what your club has done here. You know, you set out your plan, you develop your facilities, and then you cater for the underage. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. I have to say, I'm enjoying it. I do see progress. I think the work, realistically, when I'm finished, I hope to be able to look back and in the years and say, you know what, like, we're consistently challenging for football and hurling at county level, and the programmes we put in place have contributed to that, and that the facilities are well. And working as some, I say, strong clubs, I've said again, strong clubs make a strong county, and when you get the vibrancy you have in your clothing, you get that across every club, and you're doing the right thing at coaching, and putting an emphasis on coaching. Coaching has to be number one. Coaching in games or schools, getting the kids playing, doing the right things, that has to be number one for us, regardless of the need to develop facilities. That's number one. So that's certainly my focus. I'm lucky, I have a good management team. with me, and I enjoy most weeks. There's a couple of weeks this year I didn't enjoy very well, but that's okay.
Yeah. But just take it back then to the finance committee was set up there. The Hall man was involved there, and that must be great. That must be a great source of income and joy to any county chairman.
Yeah, listen, as I say, Micheal Man here and a number of others, and we've lots of volunteers who are putting their shoulder to wheel to help us out. I'd say we're financially stable. We have over the last number of years, I think, managed our finances very well. Now we have a €5 million of a project that projects that we have to develop.
Yes.
And that's not going to be simple, so we have to do that.
Yes.
And we're going to have to fundraise, and we're looking at aspects of how you do that and work in tandem with clubs. But yeah, listen, we've had good people in finance, in facilities, and in coaching. So we've good people, and you can never have enough good people. Liam mentioned it here in his speech. All the people that have helped Halfway House Montody here develop their facilities and their programs. It's the same at club level and county level. You gather yourself, surround yourself with good people, and hopefully get them working for us.
Try and bring everyone with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
One last question, then we all a topical question, I suppose, about the ladies football, the Camogie and the GA all uniting under the one umbrella. How far away are we from that? What are your thoughts on that?
At national level, listen, it's imminent, I would say. You see year opening today, I'm looking down and there's a Camogie match on one side and the ladies are a hurling match on the other side. I would say it's imminent. At national level in Croke Park, I'm not sure. A motion was passed, so when you bring in the fixtures and all those mechanisms, there's quite a lot of work to do from that aspect. But I do think, we have a very good relationship with our sister associations. We've been meeting. We met with them last week or the week before in terms of our centre of excellence and our facilities. Ladies football launched a strategic plan there recently, an ambitious strategic plan as well. So I think certainly there has been more cooperation in the last couple of years, and I think that's going to grow. And ultimately, there's going to be one association. I think how that looks is probably something that has to be figured out in terms of, say, from an administration point of view. But from an operational point of view, that's the way it is on the ground. That's the way it is here in your club, and that's the way it is in the vast majority of clubs. So it's the way it is in my school. We promote boys and girls the same way as there's no difference. So that's the way it's going, and that's the way it has to be.
Because you just take the match between Shrockneal and Sarsfield being brought to Gorey in the torrential rain. It was just a bad reflection on the Camogie association.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to comment on any other association, but I mean, it from the outside looking in, it didn't look like a very. Now, as I say, I'm not sure what the story was with pitches in relation. It was torrential rain. It was a bad weekend. But Gorey certainly wasn't. From Slough-Neil to Gorey or from Sarsfield to Gorey wasn't very logistically. Didn't really make sense. So hopefully those things at national level need to be ironed out first of all. We'll do our bit at county level, and I've already committed to that we will do our bit with the ladies in the Camogie to ensure that we have an inclusive association.
We're doing our bit to unite them all anyway.
Exactly, yeah, and we've committed to that, and we'll do that.
Micheal, thank you very much for the interview.
Thanks, James.
And the very best of luck in your endeavours.
Thank you. Thanks, William.
Thanks, Micheal.
Thank you.